What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, keeping you up to date on all the latest wrestling news. Today we're talking all about WWE recent releases, a lot of backstage news and changes for WWE, the WWE champion Bobby Lashley teasing a major matchup between a returning superstar, Superstars push already canceled, big news regarding AEW, and more. Before we get into it though, make sure that you guys elbow drop it and hit those notifications to continue being up to date. And of course, for more wrestling, consider subscribing here and to our second channel. Starting off with a big update in regards to WWE returning to live audience. As we head into this summer, it is being reported that the Fox network, the home of WWE SmackDown, has been pushing for the company to return to being in front of live fans. As reported by WrestleVotes, Fox wants WWE to be on the same level as MLB, the NBA, and other sports that they're already paying for, so they have been seeking updates on the time frame for crowds returning over the past few weeks, basically pushing and kind of forcing WWE to get things back to normal and get out of the Thunderdome. WrestleVotes added that the Fox network liked their billion-dollar investments that they pay to WWE to again be on the same playing field as the NBA and other sports that they already have. As we indicated before, WWE has been looking to return to the Raw in the middle of July in time for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, with Hell in a Cell coming out being the last pay-per-view that we get to see under Thunderdome. This also comes after All Elite Wrestling announced that it will be returning to touring in July. This report basically confirms what WWE hasn't just yet, and that is that they will be returning to live audience sooner than expected. This is something that they should be making an official announcement for very soon, especially with Hell in a Cell coming up, and of course they gotta start selling tickets for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Latest news in regards to AEW, they made a massive announcement announcing a brand new show, and a lot of changes are gonna be coming in 2022. This big news comes from Tony Khan himself, indicating that AEW Dynamite will move to TBS in January 2022, which on the surface of things it's a good move considering that TBS is actually in more homes than TNT. They also ended up indicating that AEW's new 1-hour show, AEW Rampage, is set to debut on August 13 at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT. So this will be a Friday night show going at it right after SmackDown goes off the air. It was also announced that AEW will air 4 Supercard specials on TNT Network, which I'm expecting it to be somewhere in between their big pay-per-views. This will certainly fill up the gap that we already have, or we have to wait 3 to 4 months before we get a brand new pay-per-view. So special shows like Bash at the Beach, Blood and Guts, and so on will be those that end up being on the TNT network. The move to TBS appears to be happening because of Turner's deal with the NHL, since a lot of the NHL games will be airing on Wednesday nights on TNT. TNT will still be promoting AEW because of course TNT owns TBS, or I should say it's just owned by the Turner network, so they are still within the network company. And nowadays it doesn't feel like it's a roundup if there isn't any backstage news regarding a specific change, a specific cancellation, and so on. Well, now WWE has apparently pushed a pause on Humberto Carrillo push, as he was not featured this week on Monday Night Raw, and it looks like WWE has put a focus on someone else. As we got to see, they were planning a long-term feud with Sheamus, but all of that shifted to Ricochet versus Sheamus for the foreseeable future. PW Insider noted that the reason why Humberto Carrillo was not on the show was simply that Vince McMahon decided to focus on Ricochet for now, and much like Mansoor debuting and then being forgotten the week after, Vince simply decided to focus on something, or I should say on someone else. And it is worth mentioning that although Humberto Carrillo versus Sheamus match 2 weeks ago was stopped due to an injury scare, that last report that we got in regards to him was that he was okay and he was not set to miss any action. I do love the fact that Ricochet is once again getting a bit of a push on Monday Night Raw, but it just sucks that it comes at the expense of another younger talent that they should be pushing. Talking about superstars getting a push, that is of course Jinder Mahal, who came back 2 weeks ago, had a big match against Jeff Hardy, and picked up the victory. Now the latest coming from WrestlingNews.co indicates that Jinder Mahal Mahal push is still in line, it is still set to happen, and they ended up revealing what exactly is the plans for the next couple of months. They indicated that once Drew McIntyre is done with Bobby Lashley, it looks like they're gonna put a focus on Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre. Of course, revisit that real life friendship of these former tag team partners of 3MB. So expect that feud to start kicking off within the next couple of weeks, unless WWE change plans with Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, which at this point it wouldn't be a surprise. The late changes continues, and especially with fans being introduced, I'm expecting WWE to become a bit more unexpected. Hopefully they saving all the big stuff for when fans are finally in attendance. Onto some big breaking news. This month, once again, WWE is continuing with the releases. As we know, major names like Samoa Joe, Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, Mickie James, and so on were soon released after WrestleMania 37. Now, WWE has released some more superstars and employees specifically from the NXT brand. PW Insider and Fightful Select have confirmed that former main roster superstar and one-time NXT Tag Team Champion Alexander Wolf has been released. He actually went on social media indicating that his contract is coming up to an end next month, so he will be available to work right after that, meaning that he does not have to wait those 3-month period post-release. Other talents released were Vanessa Bourne, Jessamine Duke, which came as a surprise. I guess we will never get to see that 4 MMA horsewoman versus that 4 WWE horsewoman matchup. Adding to that group of names, we got Kavita Devi, Skylar Story, Ezra Judge, which came as a huge surprise apparently because he was said to be that next Randy Orton, or that next quote-unquote superstar that was said to be built from the ground up and just look like a pure pro wrestler. We also saw the release of NXT referee Jake Clements and NXT referee Drake, which we've been expecting at this point. It honestly took a while. There's also a backstage story in regards to him being shared right now, indicating that when Triple H made the Black Lives Matters emotional speech at the Performance Center with the rest of the talent, he was one of the guys that actually walked out during that speech. And on top of that, he was said to have a lot of backstage heat with multiple officials and WWE talent. So as I said, it looks like this was just a matter of time, and honestly WWE took a while. And last but not least, we got our current WWE champion Bobby Lashley ready for a John Cena return, and he is more or less setting up the challenge already. John Cena though is of course busy with Hollywood right now, but he has been teasing that he cannot wait to get back into the ring and return to WWE. And recently, the WWE on Fox Instagram account uploaded a recent quote from John Cena regarding him wanting to make this return to WWE. MVP saw the post and decided to tease a potential match between Bobby and John Cena once he returns, indicating the following: on behalf of the almighty WWE champion and the Hurt Business, we eagerly await your return. And it looks like Bobby Lashley is all down for it. Unfortunately though, we have no idea when John Cena is gonna return, and maybe with the introduction of fans, WWE might be looking to give us a massive surprise for this summer. Who knows? But then there's the other question: will Bobby Lashley continue to be WWE champion by that time? Because now he got Kofi Kingston to deal with, more Drew McIntyre, a possible Braun Strowman, and so on. Regardless, I do like MVP going out there and teasing matchups like this, because you never know, it might lead into something, and I'll be down to see John Cena and Bobby Lashley go at it again. Anyways guys, that is all the latest that I got for you on this roundup covering everything wrestling news. If you guys enjoy or find that informative, don't forget to elbow drop it, and of course hit those notifications to continue being up to date. I'll catch you on the next one, so stay savage.